Hey, everybody, it's Monday, September 15th, 2025. Welcome to the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast, where we want extra bonus points for 60-yard field goals. It's me, your man, MG Marcus Gruen, joined by Michael F. Florio and Laquan Jones. I don't know, guys, if you are old enough to remember this, but because I am an old, or at least getting to be an old, there was a time in the NFL when if a guy kicked a 50-yarder, like that was a big deal, right? Now we have Brandon Aubrey going out here crushing 60-yard field goals and being like, yeah, that was probably good from 70. Like, what is going on?
60's the new 50.
It's the new 50.
50's no longer impressive, you know?
Yeah. It's just not. Like, if you're kicker, and this is, like, ask Jake Moody, who is unemployed now. Like, if you miss 50-yard field goals, like, fans like, what are you doing out there? Now, mind you, I know, Laquan, I've seen your video. I know I had a chance to do it. I took the tour at SoFi Stadium where they set you up with what, like, basically a kind of a long extra point, essentially. And I put it through, but I was like, all right, man, this is not simple, right? And that was on a tee with no one coming at you, like no crowd noise. It's just like you in a quiet stadium. And I'm like, all right, man, that wasn't like the easiest thing in the world. So like, I can't imagine stepping up and just blasting a 64-yard field goal.
I think it's pretty
We're going to have
easy.
a lot of kicker controversies around the league soon because Younghoe Koo is up in the air now. Bills fans are for
I'm here.
Today.
I'm here on a minimum deal. Like, I want the basic of deals. Like, I have video footage on my Twitter kicking a 40-yarder. It may not be full technique, but I've been playing soccer since I was 6, man. So, hello.
There's really a video of you kicking a 40-yard field goal?
Yes, at SoFi Stadium. It's the most ugliest technique ever, but it gets the job done. It gets the job done.
I'm going to have to go check this out. Impressive. That's wild. All I know is that my wife in her office is in a survivor pool, and I told her to take the Cowboys this week. Being like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. I'm like, the Giants are terrible. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. I was like, you know, if you don't want to take the Giants or the Cowboys, you can take the Bengals. That one should be easy too.
Yeah.
I actually did suggest the Rams, but she's like, if the Rams lose and I lose in the survivor pool, I'm gonna be double sad. I was like, all right, that's fair. So like I sweated through this. Like I have never in my life rooted for the Cowboys so hard as I did on Sunday because I just needed there to be peace in my house.
Yeah,
I feel your pain a little bit because not a survivor pool, but in Nicolette's one fantasy league, it's a super flex, and her quarterbacks are Josh Allen and Justin Fields, and in their game together, they combined for like 15 points. And she kept being like, Bryce Young has double the amount of points as the two of them. And I was like, welcome to fantasy.
There you go.
Yeah, I just, Jesse has Joe Burrow. And just from the kitchen, I just heard a what? And I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, Joe Burrow.
Ouch.
So
Joe Beasy.
Which we'll get to that in just a little bit. Welcome, because week 2 wraps up today with a pair of Monday night football games. We got a double header. Sort of a double header. They actually spaced them out. There's no overlap, I think, with these two games, or at least very little overlap with these two games. But we're gonna do a what the bleep is going on. Give you a little bit of rookie update, plus play some panic or patience with some guys who are sort of struggling to start the year, and whether or not we're ready to pull the chute on this one, or if we're gonna wait a little bit longer. And then, of course, because it is Monday, we will get you some waiver wire picks heading into week 3. But we'll start, as always, with some news, and we will start with the aforementioned Joe Burrow, who left the game against the Jaguars on Sunday with a turf toe injury. That is bad enough. To make matters worse, reports are it possibly will need surgery, likely will need surgery, and in that event, he will be out at least 3 months, possibly more. I mean, Florio, that essentially is the fantasy season. If he's gone for 3 months, he is gone for the year. That means it is the Jake Browning show in Cincinnati. I mean, I know you're not punting on Jamar Chase. How are we feeling about T. Higgins, like Gesicki? No offense. I mean, everybody not named Jamar Chase. How are we feeling at this point?
I think Jamar Chase, like you said, he remains very much so in play. I think T. Higgins does as well, but that could change, right? Like I'm saying, going into week 3, if I have T. Higgins, I'm still going to use him. But if this looks like what the Dolphins looked like last year without Tua, let's say, for example, that changes as we move on. But I did, and I've seen other people doing this as well. I went and I looked back at the 7 starts from 2023 with Jake Browning, and in classic Bengals fashion, both wide receivers missed time during that stretch. T. Higgins averaged 6. They both it was 6 and 7 targets per game. 6 for Higgins, 7 for Chase. Higgins though actually averaged more yards per game and scored more touchdowns in that stretch. I do think it's worth noting though that Ja'Marr Chase got hurt in one of those games, didn't play the next week, and then didn't play the full allotment of snaps in the 2 after that. So I don't think we have a perfect sample here of what it's going to look like. And Browning is probably better than he was 2 years ago. But yeah, it's going to be, I think for right now, you play those 2 guys and then we adjust on the fly as we go. And if they could do anything, please start throwing the ball to Chase Brown more too, because that has been super frustrating to start the year.
I was going to ask you, Laquan. I mean, does this help Chase Brown at all? If you have a quarterback that, I can't imagine we're going to see Jake Browning just launching moonballs downfield for Higgins and Chase. I would think it's got to be a little bit of a positive for Chase Brown, right?
Absolutely. For a check down, I do see that happening because you know what comes with Jake Browning? Interceptions. There's a lot of interceptions on his belt. 14 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He just threw 3 in his first opportunity of stepping in.
And didn't even play the full game.
But yeah, which is insane to me. So I'm like, no, I'm kind of on the side of like Chase Brown. He remains one of those running backs at the top tier that has fantasy opportunities on the table for him with Joe Burrow or not. I'm just a little bit more worried about his scoring opportunities of getting into that striking distance to get those 6 points that we want on a week-to-week basis. So I think he's going to have to work a little bit harder on a week-to-week basis. I'm a little worried about T. Higgins because I'd rather ship him now to get off the roller coaster that we're going to constantly worry about. Hey, is this going to be a Ja'Marr Chase week or a T. Higgins week? Or hey, is T. Higgins going to be healthy at all this season? I want a full season from my guys, but without Joe Burrow down for 3 months, I don't feel exactly comfortable right now having a Bengals skill player on my roster right now.
The other part that comes into play here is now I think your streaming defense is against the Bengals until we get further notice.
Back.
Well, and even I was even kind of leaning that way, even with Burrow there. Now, granted, with Joe Burrow, the danger is that the Bengals can, put up 35, 40 points on your defense, and then that's going to be a bad day. The scoring opportunities go down with Jake Browning. But the other part was even just watching that game, even before Burrow went out, he was under pressure a lot. He got hit on the play, obviously, where he gets injured, but there are a couple other plays. There was one that probably should have been called a lateral. He gets hit and the ball squirts out of his hand. And from my vantage point, it went backwards, but they called it an incomplete pass, which was sort of fortunate, but he was under pressure a lot before he went down. At least with Joe Burrow, I trust he's going to get the ball out to his quick reads and make something happen. I don't have that same level of confidence with Jake Browning. So stream your defenses against the Bengals. That's what I'm saying.
The one, I think, saving grace here is the Bengals defense is so bad. And obviously you're not going to get the same efficiency with Joe Burrow, but you're still going to get volume, I think, because the Bengals are going to have to put up points. And we saw yesterday, that's why Ja'Marr Chase and 8 targets for Higgins, 16 for again, it's not going to be what it was with Joe Burrow, but it's not going to be like when these other teams lose their starting quarterback and suddenly they're throwing 20 times a game, because I don't think the Bengals are going to be able to do that.
This is like the monkey's paw of starts to the season for the Bengals. It's like they wish to not have a bad start to the year. So great, you're 2-0. You also don't have your starting franchise quarterback for most of the season.
Everything's coming up Bills through 2 weeks in the AFC.
The Chiefs are 0-2. The Bengals don't have Joe Burrow. You still got to deal with Lamar.
They got a win in hand though against Lamar, so the tiebreaker,
I can't remember where I saw this or who told me this, but now the word out on the streets is it's bad news for the Bills that they won the week 1 matchup, because when they inevitably meet in the postseason, that the Ravens.
That's always how it goes with the Chiefs. Whoever wins in the regular season, it's always the Bills.
So, good news for the Bills. They won in the regular season. The bad news is there's a pretty good chance they're going to see the Ravens again in the postseason. Meanwhile, over in New York, Justin Fields is off to a really good start. Had a good week 1. Looked like things were, maybe progressing for a decent week 2 against the Bills, but he had to leave that game with a concussion. So we will wait as he goes through the protocol and seeing what happens. Next week, Laquan, the Jets head down to Tampa to take on the Buccaneers, who do play on Monday night, so we don't have a full accounting of what to expect from them necessarily. But if for whatever reason Fields can't go, is this Breece Hall season?
I'm I'm a little hesitant to say yes, just based on we have to rely on this Jets O-line to be pushing bodies and getting Breece Hall, involved heavily in this run game without Justin Fields. I think Tyrod Taylor came in, didn't look terrible. I mean, he put up the same amount of pass attempts and completed more passes in the fourth quarter alone than Justin Fields the entire game. So I do look like there's going to be some functionality of this Jets offense, but I'm just a little hesitant on my expectations for Breece Hall to be Breece Lightning, to be giving us RB1 season as long as Justin Fields off the field. I just feel a little bit more hesitant about it because if I have other options at running backs, like some guys that are cooking up right now, I'd rather flex them and kind of just play the wait and see game until we understand what this Jets offense looks like, because it was terrible. Terrible. They had 5 yards at the start of the second quarter. Like, bro, that is disgusting. And Breece Hall was not doing, anything that was like Breece Hall like. It was just more so of like, hey, the Jets offense is bad right now. And these are the weeks that are going to come with Justin Fields that we have to kind of strap ourselves to.
Yeah, I mean, week 1 was very good for Breece Hall. Week 2, not so much.
Yeah.
Floyd, when you look at the passing game, though, it's Garrett Wilson and who else? I mean, it feels like Garrett Wilson kind of stays fairly stable just because who else do they throw the ball to there?
Yeah, that exactly. But I do think people are going to overreact to the Justin Fields game this week. Like, I know I'm a huge Fields supporter. I'm also a Bills fan. I was watching that game extremely closely. Tyrod was playing against a lot of backups and stuff. And it's a reminder of the Bills defense against like league average or below league average defenses look great every time. So like this is something that we've seen happen before. It's one bad game for Fields. We've seen now the highs and the lows of Justin Fields. But I still think there's going to be a lot more highs. Like next week, if he ends up playing against the Bucs, I'm going to be playing him in fantasy. But I'll probably be playing Breece Hall. I don't have him on a ton of teams, but I will be. Like the game script went as poorly as possible for the Jets in this one because they went behind 7-0 to the Bills, and then a quick turnover on a short, it was like a 30-yard field. All of a sudden, now you're down 2 scores the entire game. That is a recipe for disaster for this Jets team. So they need to avoid starts like that. But I don't foresee being down double digits 5 minutes into the game or whatever it was being the norm for this team.
Yeah, I mean, they're not a team that, like you mentioned, they go down a couple scores. It's hard for them to put together quick scoring drives, big plays. They're just not really an explosive offense like that. So it does change the game plan for what
Fields was
do.
also throwing the ball very terrible. Like there was a lot of balls that were not catchable. It was just one of those games that we knew that he was going to have. Like it's one of those up and down things each and every week. We're going to just have to deal with it kind of, because I don't see me benching Fields if I have Fields and my backups like Brock Purdy or somebody or Trevor Mid-Lawrence. Like I would feel a lot better, obviously, having Justin Fields in my starting lineup.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't think I put anything regarding the Jaguars in the rundown today. I don't know. It wasn't on purpose. Like I wasn't trying to avoid it. Like
It's fine.
I have no allegiance to Trevor Lawrence. I wasn't trying to avoid anything. Just there was really nothing.
You want the middle meter?
Let's get the middle meter if we can. So he's still at team low. He was not even team mid.
No, it's been updated.
Is it? I mean, he was so at the moment with 2 games still left to be played. He's QB 14 on the week. 19 points, which isn't terrible. I mean, because of where everybody else is, he's not a QB1, but 19 points is mid. That feels mid, It is definitely better than it was in week 1 when he only got you 10.
Yeah.
So, he's T mid at least. I don't think he's T low. I think you can move him up to T mid.
Right here. I think it's one of those games where the fantasy stats look better than.
Oh no, absolutely. That is definitely true. Like I'm not arguing that at all. The fantasy stats look better than what happened on the field. I watched that game, and yeah, it wasn't like he had the touchdown pass early to De'Ami Brown, and then like the next drive he followed up with like a bad interception.
Questionable.
I think the big takeaway is try to buy low on, especially Brian Thomas Jr. I think Travis Hunter fits in that regard as well.
Yeah. I just, it's going to be a struggle unless Trevor Lawrence gets significantly better. It's just going to be up and down for
him and Liam Cohen might brawl by week 8. Who knows?
Hey, it could
they
be
both downplayed it after.
You know what?
Exactly. It could be the canon event that Bo Nix and Sean Payton had. It could be the spark that Trevor Mid-Lawrence needs. I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
I know that video is going around. You sent it to us, Laquan. For those of you who don't know, there's a video from the game where Liam Cohen is very demonstrative. He's yelling. He's like beating his chest about something. And Lawrence kind of looks at him and just kind of like waves him off and then goes back to the play. I'm not really taking that as anything other than like in the heat of the moment, two guys having a disagreement and then they won't. Like I'm not, you know.
It would have been hilarious if he threw an interception on that.
That
pass.
actually would have been funny. And here's the thing: regardless of how this goes, if I'm Trevor Lawrence, it's better than Urban Meyer. That's all I know.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
better than Urban Meyer.
The-
Yeah, it's
the
no,
Jags
no, Laquan, it is
offensively-
better than Urban
Well,
Meyer.
I'm just saying, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah.
The Jags offensively, yard-wise at least, are on their best start in 25 years. So
I mean,
it's
Travis
working.
Etienne.
It's just
Travis Etienne
not.
is working.
Travis Etienne is working. Travis Etienne.
2
is
and
for sure
2.
Working. There it is. Yeah, we'll get to Bhayshul Tuten a little bit later on too, because that was, I think, an interesting part of the game yesterday as well. Gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back and try to dive into some weirdness from week 2. Also, kind of update you on some of the rookies and maybe what their futures are gonna be. Stick around for more of the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. So, looking at some of the things that happened on the field on Sunday and trying to divine what this means in the greater scheme of things, a little segment we started last week called "What the is going on?" Laquan, is Daniel Jones good?
Yes, let's
Oh.
go. Come on, man. You knew I was gonna come here in victory lap.
By the way,
man.
do you know, like, I hear they're calling him Indiana Jones now. Like,
Yes,
are you
isn't
okay
that
with
cool?
this?
He earned his name. He earned
is-
the nickname.
That's kind of
I literally said 5 days ago, I said, what if Daniel Jones lights up the Denver Broncos? And here we are, Monday morning. This guy has over 300 yards on the Denver Broncos defense. Only 2 other quarterbacks have done that in the past year, Jameis Winston and Joe Burrow. You can add Daniel Jones to that. All the Colts needed.
That's a
with
weird mix of
somebody
quarterbacks, by the way.
Exactly. All you needed was somebody to complete the passes, and that's exactly what we're getting. You're seeing guys like a Josh Downs being utilized out of that slot, being a security blanket for him, getting the yards after the catch. Tyler Warren looking like the amazing top 3 tight end that we all this summer were on board for. Daniel Jones is going out there doing his job. He should be picked up off waivers. There should be no league right now where I am not interested in getting him if I've lost a Brock Purdy or if I'm stuck with a Trevor Mid-Lawrence or any other quarterback with question marks. I like Daniel Jones's upside that we were talking about in previous pod when I kept saying upside. Oh, look at that deep ball. It looks kind of crisp, huh? But he needs to connect with A.D. Mitchell because I think that's where you'll get more bang for your buck on that deep ball. I rest.
I mean,
I will say 2 things. I'm willing to be wrong. I think I agree with Laquan. He should be picked off of waivers and stuff. This also could be what last year's Saints was. I'm not ruling that out.
No. Don't do that to Danny Dimes. Come on, bro.
I mean,
he ain't Derek Carr.
I mean, but how many times have we've seen this movie with Daniel Jones, right? Where
This is a good defense, man.
This
was the test.
and that was why I put this as a topic, right? Because okay, it was one thing when they light up the Dolphins in week 1 because we've seen through 2 weeks the Dolphins are smoldering tire fire right now, right? It's just not good. So it's like, okay, let's wait and see, right? And then he goes and he marches up and down the field. It's 300 passing yards against the Broncos, against a legitimately good defense. And so it's like, all right, now we can have the conversation. But how many times have we seen Daniel Jones do this where, it's the hope that kills you, right? He gets you involved. He starts to get you to buy in a little bit. And then you get the 173 yards with a touchdown and 2 picks sort of thing. Like,
I think that's on the way. He's gonna
But, all right, well, as long as
I
we can
did a
admit that.
skit. I did a skit over the summer where I made like a scary movie reference of like it's going to be terrifying to be drafting Daniel Jones or even like thinking that he could be strapped to a good fantasy season. We're going to be on the edge of our seats all season long, waiting for the other shoe to drop. But at the time right now, Daniel Jones has shown us that he can work the pocket. All he has to do really is just hand it off to JT or screening him, get up the field like he did yesterday. So I do feel like there's upside for Daniel Jones.
By the way,
Upside.
how much were you looking over your shoulder, shooting that video in like the grocery store? Like sticking pictures of Daniel Jones's faces to like boxes of, whatever, mac and cheese or whatever it was you did.
Listen,
Go ahead, Florio.
I would say one thing we haven't mentioned, and I think it's the biggest thing for Daniel Jones' fantasy value. Through 2 weeks, it's him and Josh Allen who lead the league in goal line carries. Like, if that continues, that's very bad for Jonathan Taylor, but very good for Daniel Jones.
Very bad for Jonathan Taylor. And by the way, it's also very bad for Anthony Richardson, whose name we have not spoken aloud in several weeks. So, yeah, as long as Jones keeps playing like this.
3 rushing touchdowns is already the second most he's had in any season in his career.
That's wild.
Let's go.
That is wild.
That's why I'm a little. I'm picking him up. I'm gonna say I might even put him as a start and start sit this week.
Because put it like
spicy.
this though, you look at what he had to deal with in New York: a terrible O-line, a completely I would say Walmart brand of wide receivers at choice, and it's like, what was he supposed to go out there and do?
He had Malik Neighbors for the start of
couple
last
weeks,
year.
but the offense was trash, and the O-line is still trash as we see this year. But it's like, what could Daniel Jones do? They're like, he's in a completely different situation.
You, the only quarterback with more passing yards than Daniel Jones right now, Russell Wilson.
Let's go.
the guy that replaced him in New York. That's
Russell Wilson's a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. But I ain't starting Russ. I ain't starting Russ in no lineups. Y'all starting Russ?
No, I'm not starting Russ. Okay. I actually do have him on a dynasty roster, but he's not getting off the bench ever.
There was 3 plays in a row where Jackson Dart played yesterday, and I was like, it's happening.
But not really. They were rotating him through, and then Russ comes back and throws the long touchdown to Malik Neighbors at the end.
And Wando Robinson.
Since we're talking about East Coast teams up there in the Northeast, Florio, has anyone seen Trevion Henderson?
That was quite the transition.
Thanks.
No. Yesterday was about as bad of a day as Trevion Henderson could have had. He had 3 holding penalties. At one point in the first half, he was 4th in carries on the Patriots. They're using Antonio Gibson now. Look, Ramondre Stevenson popped, and I'm not going to take away from him. We've seen him pop before, though, and then he goes back to being what he is. But that kind of game is going to make it harder for them to shy away from him, and the penalties are going to add up. I still believe Trevion is their best talent there, and I would be trying to buy low right now because I've seen a lot of people on Twitter panicking about Trevion, but sadly, I'm going to put him as a sit and start sit this week, because unless I have certain teams where I was so invested in Trevion that I just simply cannot get away. But if you have another option, I think you got to take it right now, because it's hard to score fantasy points when you're just not getting opportunities.
This feels like a thing that I don't think any of us took into account when his ADP was pushing up there toward the 3rd round. Is while Bill Belichick isn't physically there in New England, and apparently he's beefing with the Patriots so hard that he's not going to get any of his UNC guys scouted for the Patriots. Whatever, that's a whole other conversation. But he's not there physically. He's there in spirit, right? Mike Vrabel is the head coach. Josh McDaniels is the offensive coordinator. I mean, this is do your job 2.0. And so maybe we should have taken into account that a rookie was really going to have to be spectacular to get playing time. And also that Josh McDaniels, at least early on, is going to lean on a guy who is at least somewhat familiar with the offense, and that's Ramondre Stevenson. Hey, look, it could still change, but this feels like a portion of the equation that we all sort of overlooked in the Trevion hype. So
I do want to say, Bucky Irving last year through 2 weeks was on waivers in some leagues. It's a long season. Rookies are going to be bad at the beginning, and that's why I'm buying low on Trevion. But yeah, until we see it, I think you could get away.
Yeah, you can put him on the bench for now, and then when we start to see because first we just need the usage.
I had people being like, should I drop him?
No, don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. Don't do. I mean, yeah,
they never deserved them.
Sure, if you're in my league,
go ahead, drop him. You drop him. Go ahead. Do it. I dare you. That is insane.
Let me know how that works. Speaking of running backs, Laquan, where did Dylan Sampson go on Sunday?
I mean, geez. Did you see the Browns? They're getting smacked.
I mean, they were getting smoked, but Quinshon Judkins led the team in carries on Sunday.
I think that's originally what the roles were supposed to be when they drafted him. I mean, Judkins was going to handle most of the carries. He was going to be like your early down back, and then Sampson was going to be your little change of pace back that catches passes here and there. Like right now, he's sixth in the season. I mean, sixth in the league going into Monday night in receiving yards among running backs. So I look at this like, okay, he carved out his role. And Junkins, he looked good with his opportunities, man. He looked electric. And then it's like Jerome Ford ends as the odd man out. So I think you're going to be looking at this Browns backfield, which I hate that you're investing this heavily into this Browns backfield if you're in this situation. But I do think that Sampson holds like flex value on a week-to-week basis as long as Joe Flacco is the quarterback. Just he's going to get peppered with targets. That's just kind of what it's been with the Browns offense these last couple seasons.
We need Jerome Ford to go away.
Yeah, I just
He
at least
fixed
one.
targets yesterday.
You're gonna have to wait.
Well, at least one of the guys to go away. Like two men backfields we can figure out. 3 men backfields are a problem. So I honestly, because I'm not invested in the Browns backfield, like I don't really care which one goes away, but we need one of them to sort of fade into the background so we can just decide between the two.
All 3 had between 10.1 and 10.6 fantasy points this week.
God. Is it like they're all even and none of them are satisfying? Like,
yep, that's exactly it.
None of them are satisfying. I'll say this: at least with Judkins, if you have him, you didn't spend a lot of draft capital, or maybe you even picked him up off the waiver wire. So at least with him, the upside, the reward, strongly outweighs the risk that you put into it. So
I think he's going to be a force down the stretch. Like I could see him carving even a role in the passing game potentially.
Well, especially once the Browns are officially eliminated from playoff contention, which could be by Halloween. I look. I mean, they play in the same like. At this point, I look at the AFC North. The Bengals are going to be without Joe Burrow pretty much all year. The Steelers are going to be mid. The Browns are going to brown. Like the Ravens. I mean, I know they're 1-1, but they lost to the Bills. Like nobody's dinging them for that. You know what I'm saying? Like they can run away with this division.
Feels like those two divisions are going to kind of be wrapped up very quickly.
Very, very quickly, for sure.
Asaptually.
Florio, Patrick Mahomes right now is he the best rusher on the Chiefs roster?
Yes. Yeah, he has led the Chiefs in not carries, but in rushing yards and touchdowns each of the 2 games. He led, when I looked this up last night, this was going into Monday Night Football. Bijan, I don't know if you guys heard it. He's Bijan.
No, he's just trolling us
back
now, man. I'm gonna start calling him Bijan, like just because.
B-Rob.
I think that Dijon Mustard Company was like, dude, it doesn't work if you're Bijan, and he went back. He might have passed him last night, but going into Sunday Night Football, Mahomes was leading the NFL in rushing in attempts of 10+ rushing yards. Like,
wow.
If he had more rushing yards and rushing touchdowns in the first half than passing. If he is doing this, it doesn't matter what the passing stats look like. He's going to be back in that elite tier because he's going to have better passing days than he did yesterday. So I know we all thought the deep ball coming back was what would maybe get Mahomes back into that elite tier. It might just be his legs.
Might be his legs. I think the deep ball will still be in play. I mean, Xavier Worthy was a long shot to play, but that suggests that he'll be back relatively soon.
Called a nice one and missed a
one. He missed Thornton on one too. He missed the one on a wide open one.
That would have been cash.
Mahomes was just like, I'm getting this one whether you like it or not.
So like when Rice comes back, when Worthy comes back, then I think the deep ball comes back into play. Also would be nice if Travis Kelce wasn't popcorning balls into the hands of Eagles defensive backs. But what do I know? So yeah, it is wild to see that's how Mahomes is getting it done because we always drafted him for the rushing upside that he gives us. No, not really. Let's do a little bit of a rookie report here. Had a bunch of them last week. I got 3 of them this week that I think are sort of interesting to talk about. Tet McMillian, 6 catches, 100 yards on 10 targets. I will admit that I didn't really know what to make of Tet McMillian. I know a lot of people were high on him. I was sort of just unsure. Like, I'm not saying I was out. I just didn't know, and I didn't draft him in a lot of spots. But seeing through 2 weeks, Florio, what this Panthers offense is, it's bad. What is the season-long ceiling for McMillian? Could he be a wide receiver too, or is that too high?
I think he could definitely be a wide receiver too. I think his absolute ceiling is like voluming his way to a low end wide receiver 1 finish, but I'm not really banking on that. Look, the Panthers games I think are going to be exactly how they have been for years. In the first half, they're going to be down like 45-0 or something like that. And then it's just Bryce Young is going to go in comeback mode. He's going to hit Chuba Hubbard in the flat like a million times, and he's going to connect with Tet McMillian. Look, it's gonna be great if you have those guys, but when you like I was facing Chuba Hubbard in numerous leagues this week, and through 3 quarters he had less than 2 points, and he finishes with like 16. It is maddening because garbage time is very annoying, but it still counts all the same and stuff. And that is McMillan's path to a successful fantasy season this year.
Yeah, I mean that does feel about right. You know that the
Feels
Panthers
disgusting.
It was disgusting, but also like the Cardinals just vomited on their shoes in the second half. Like there's no way that game
give them the win.
There's no way the game should have been that close. Right? The Panthers had the ball with a chance. I mean, it was a slim chance, but a chance to win that thing at the end. But that's just because the Cardinals couldn't figure out how to put the game away.
3 NFC West teams sitting at 2-0. Look at that.
2-0.
That's
some of us are really 2-0 because we didn't struggle against the Saints. Just saying.
I mean,
is that a shot?
But we were playing our B team. Like half our team is injured. Like what are you talking about? Also, whose team was losing at halftime to the Titans?
Sir, we knew the Titans had a tough pass defense. They're a good.
If you're just throwing out random situational things, then we got to put this on the table. You can't just throw out a situational thing one way and not expect it to come back to you. Like, sir, boomerangs exist. Like this is a thing.
Titans are a good pass defense. We knew this.
Okay.
Like that was going to be the game, but we still came out with a victory. We didn't
Next
struggle.
Week is a huge week for both. Like Rams Eagles is huge. I know LQ had that one circled on the calendar all year, and then Niners Cardinals could be for first place.
What? Yeah, right.
If you guys lose to the Eagles at the early hour, the late game will be for first place.
We're not losing, sir.
Please don't burn yourself on that hot pot you're stirring right now, Florio. don't burn yourself.
Stop.
Anyway, let's move this along. I put this in here partially because I think it's noteworthy, but partially because I want to pat myself on the back for Elic Ayomanor.
Kudos to both of you.
4 catches, 56 yards on 6 targets. Look, I watched a little bit of that game with the Rams and the Titans of Laquan. I know you were really, really locked in on that game. Looking at that Titans offense, is there enough volume to sustain this? Like, I don't think Ayomanor is going to be like, he's not like a set it and forget it wide receiver, but there's not much there beyond Calvin Ridley. Is there enough volume for him to actually be relevant this year?
I think we need to be patient with him. I did like what I seen, him and Cam Ward connecting a lot. There's actually a tweet I have from April, and I said I could see it now. Cam Ward rolls out of the pocket and hits deep shot down the sideline to Elic Ayomanor, bringing it in with one hand. That's exactly what happened down the perimeter on us, and that's the connection that they're building right now. I do think there is a wide receiver too, like solid floor for him to see a chunk of volume, because I don't think Tyler Lockett or even my guy Chikakonkwo is going to be taking more target looks from Elic Ayomanor, because he has made himself very available and they're using him all over the field. He's being used down the perimeter. He's used in the middle of the field against crossers, down the flat, everything they want him to do. Where Calvin Ridley, I think that development between him and Cam Ward is going to take some time, but Elic Ayomanor just seems like a security blanket for Cam Ward, to where things are just going to start ramping and building up as the seasons go out. So I don't see myself putting him in the flex anytime soon. I like for him to rack up these points so I can gain this trust with him, on my bench, and then maybe put him into starting lineups, on the bye week or injury week,
Tyler Lockett is not going to be a factor. He's,
no,
I don't know. He's doing open houses around the Nashville area right now.
He's the Phil Dunphy of the
yes, exactly. He had 2 catches for 9 yards on 3 targets, which was an improvement from 1 target, no catches against the Broncos in week 1. But I think, for Tyler Lockett, look, he's been a fantasy darling for a long time. He's had a lot of productive years. But as we've seen, the Titans oftentimes are sort of the old wide receiver rest home. And it feels like Tyler Lockett is sort of setting up shop there for sure.
Went to the wrong one. That's all. Should have went to the Chiefs or Baltimore, bro.
Oh,
He had options.
yeah. Well, I mean, the Chiefs. I don't know. They brought in Mark.
They got Juju in that
They got
role.
Juju. Like he's sort of taking that spot, and then the Ravens went out and got D-Hop. So like they're just there wasn't enough space. The musical chairs.
D-Hop's making his way through all the retirement homes.
Facts.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey man, people want to fly me out and give me a free dinner and like talk football or whatever. Like I'm down to do that too. So I'm not mad about it. One more rookie to talk about, Bhayshul Tuten. I know we have all been rooting for Tuten, if for no other reason because we like saying that phrase out loud. But got some snaps, right? I mean, Tank Bigsby is out the door. I know week one was a lot of LaQuint Allen. I didn't believe that was going to be a thing.
Hey, not too much on LQ. Not too much.
It's not about him, but like, look, man, like if they weren't trading Tank Bigsby because of LaQuint Allen, right? He was there last year, and they didn't feel the need to move Tank Bigsby. So obviously, something changed. That change was Bhayshul Tuten, 42 rushing yards, 2 catches for 32 yards and a touchdown. Florio, he's got some juice. Is he startable yet?
I feel exactly about him like LQ was just saying with Elic Ayomanor. I think there's potential for him to become a useful fantasy piece, but I'm not there yet. Like I want to pick him up off waivers. I want him on my bench. I think he could become someone that bye week or injury replacements, and if anything happens to Travis Etienne, then he's obviously in play for fantasy. But after just 1 week, there, especially week 3, still no buys, stuff like that. I'm not at the point where I'm considering starting him yet, but we could get there very quickly.
All right. I think that's fair. Like, I know I think for a lot of us, Tuten was like a draft and stash, see what happens. At the time, it was see if he can push Tank Bigsby for an opportunity. Obviously, the opportunity was him pushing Tank Bigsby out the door. So we'll see what that develops into. But yesterday was very eye-opening. It was good to see him. Also, I would caution everybody that it was the Bengals. That's not a good defense. It's a defense that we're going to be chasing all year long in fantasy. So, let's reserve judgment. Let's see another game or two against maybe a more competitive defense and sort of seeing how that goes for sure. Not done yet. Got a little panic or patience. Also, some waiver wire picks as we head into week 3. Stay tuned for more of the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. All right, so last week we did overreaction theater about what we saw in week 1. Now it's week 2, and we've seen a little bit more, and there are still some things that maybe don't sit quite right with us. So we're going to do a couple rounds of panic or patience about a player or players that have underwhelmed in the first couple of weeks. So Laquan, let's start in Philadelphia with the Eagles wide receivers. Through 2 weeks of the season, A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith have combined for 13 catches and 104 yards. Malik Neighbors on his own has significantly more than that.
Jeez. Make it worse for them.
Even Wan'Dale Robinson, I think, yesterday had more than that, right? By himself. Right? What did Robinson have? Robinson had 142 yards
insane
on 8 catches, which, by the way, that's kind of a mirage. I wouldn't get too hyped over that. But anyway.
They're using him downfield. Crazy.
Yeah,
crazy. That's what it is.
I feel like that's not going to last. I just don't think that's going to last, but we'll see. But anyway, look on Eagles wide receivers, panic or patience after 2 weeks?
I'm still patient. I do believe they snap back. I think against my Rams, we're obviously going to have a little bit more of like a demand of stopping the run. Like Saquon will be the obvious opponent that we need to just shut down, where it opens some things up for the wide receivers. I think that the Eagles, they have a week to week where they want to change of like how they're going to win the game. It's just been Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley these last 2 weeks of them sealing the deal. And then you sprinkle in a Dallas Goedert. I think with Dallas Goedert being out, I'm thinking going in like, okay, it's A.J. Brown season, but apparently it's not. But it's comforting to see that he has 8 targets. The target volume is starting to increase. I do think as the season goes on, based on
couldn't get much worse than 1, by the way.
I'm just saying, like right now, I'm on the fence. Like I'm not hitting that panic button just yet on the wide receivers yet, because I know it's gonna get better. It has to. They can't keep being the 1-2 show between Hurts and Saquon. But if it's winning games, that may be the deal.
That's the thing. That's the worry, is that as long as they're winning, doing it this way, that there's not the urgency to throw the ball. Like it'll happen, every once in a while, partially because you'll get some squeaky wheel games, partially just because there will be weeks where the game script says that they have to throw the ball. But I came into this year thinking that, okay, well, they can't throw it less than they did last year, and maybe they don't, but they don't seem to be in a rush to just put the ball in the air a ton.
The NFL might have to just ban the tush push now because like last year and in past years, it was like, all right, the Eagles are a normal offense until they get near the goal line, and then we tush push, right? Cool with that. And it was a joke. It was like, all right, all their skill players aren't going to get tackled at the one every time, right? But now their entire game plan, it feels like, is built around the tush push. It's like LQ was saying, it's Hurts and Saquon, and it's short passes. Like, he had 8 targets yesterday. 7 of them were not even 10 yards down the field. So they're throwing quick passes to A.J. Brown, a handoff to Saquon, tush push, tush push. Like, that is boring. It's a boring product. It's awful for fantasy, all of that. But, like, if you're going to tush push, I'm in favor. I was supporting the tush push in the offseason when it was up for ban and stuff. But if it's going to be used like this, get it out of the game.
The always excellent Pat Doherty, Roto Pat, on social media tweeted yesterday, the worst thing you could do is give up 9 yards to the Eagles. Like, that's it.
It felt to me yesterday like they were playing to gain 8 or 9 yards on the first 2 downs.
Yes, that's what it feels like. Because, like, every time they're going to whip out the old reliable, and we just got to deal with it.
And it gets stopped on third. All right, we'll just do it on fourth.
We'll just do it on fourth down. Well, yeah, I mean, like, if it's because, like, I saw they did it from like the 1.5, right? They lined them like, this is kind of a long tush push, and the Chiefs stopped them, but it was like at the 2-inch line. I'm like, well, it's just gonna happen again. Like, you're not gonna stop it a second.
I get it like that, but if you're doing it like your own side of the field, it's like, what? Why are we playing this way? You have great talent. You don't have to live or make this your entire identity. But they've decided to do that.
I'm trying to figure. It's like the 2005 NBA Finals. Was it 2005 with the Pistons and the Spurs, where like the final scores were like 83-81.
The 2004 finals.
2004. That's what it was.
Yeah,
it was just I hope it doesn't go that way. But as long as the Eagles are successful doing it this way, they're going to keep doing it this way.
Chris Jones was like, Jalen Hurts, you don't even have 100 yards.
Which is funny, but he was just like, we won the bleeping game, so shut up. which it's hard to argue that one for sure.
Yeah.
Florio, I know you were a big Isiah Pacheco guy. I didn't think the first 2 weeks bode well for him. Like, I just thought the way they've been using him and the schedule didn't work out well. It's been even worse than I thought it would be. Panic or patience with the guy who's like the number 2 running option, I guess, for Kansas City now. Maybe number 3 if you throw in Kareem Hunt.
I think that yesterday was a step forward for him because he played 60% of the snaps to 40% for Kareem Hunt. He had more carries. He had double the amount of routes. I still don't think we could start him with much confidence, but because Mahomes is running more. I also think it's worth pointing out that the Chiefs have had a lead in this season for like 2 minutes of the 120 minutes they have played. That is not going to be the norm. Like, this week they get the Giants. A back to big Jersey game for Isiah Pacheco.
Let's go.
I could see this being a potential get right game for him. I'm not saying he's a must start or even a start, but I have him in deep leagues where I can't get away. And even more than that, I think if you want, it's okay to try to buy real low because his value is probably not going to get lower than it is now. If it does, he's going to get thrown out on waivers. But I think when game script starts being more in the Chiefs' favor, he might get better results.
I'm buying into that, by the way. He just need to get some good cheese pizza from Jersey in his belly, get some bagels, man, hit the Chinese spot and hit up a good bagel and coffee spot and get like a pork roll and cheese, not Taylor ham. But, I think Pacheco, he gets a get right game back.
You know what he needs more than like dollar Chinese in like the greasy cardboard box? He needs carries. Like, he needs carries is what he needs. Because he had 10 carries on Sunday, right? I went back and looked, like, his previous 9 games, like, including the postseason, previous 9 games, he'd had fewer than 10 carries in 7 of those. He's just not getting the ball. Like, early on, it's like, okay, well, he was coming back from injury. But, like, then in the playoffs, he had been ramped up for a few weeks. They still weren't giving him the ball. Earlier this season, they still aren't giving him the ball. Kareem Hunt is getting more work than I think anybody anticipated. And not that you're going to run out and pick up or start Kareem Hunt, but what little bit on that Pacheco has on his plate, Hunt is taking a chicken wing here and there. Like, it's just not great. So, like, yeah, maybe going back home and hitting up all the old spots will be great. But also, what will be great is if they actually turned around and handed him the ball more often. But we'll see if that.
You know,
It's a
no
night
Chiefs
game,
running
too.
back has reached 5 fantasy points this year.
Gah!
Nice.
That's
nice.
that is
5.
ugly.
That's like the lowest bar you could set.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's yeesh. All right. Speaking of running backs that are kind of on the struggle bus right now, Laquan, talk to me about RJ Harvey. Panic or patience here?
I'm panicking. And here's why. You cannot trust this man, Sean Payton. I've learned my lesson. I know. This man is diabolical. He is sick. What is wrong with him? Like, seriously, I'm done. I am done. Like, bro, I'm watching the game. I'm like, J.K. Dobbins. Okay, J.K. Dobbins. Okay, all right. Now,
Tyler
where's
Bidet,
RJ
which I guess
Harvey?
is pronounced
Bidet's
Bidet.
in.
Yeah,
Okay, he's running a route. Bo hit him in the stride. No. What are we doing? We're not even designing things for him. We're putting him out there where guys are winded, and we're gonna run an outside zone run, and then it just completely gets obliterated. Like, nobody was there to help him, and I'm like, okay, keep running it. Let him get the reps. And no, he was on the sideline. I'm done. I'm not. He's going to my bench. I'm not dropping him. I'm not trading him. But I am telling folks to buy low on him, though. Buy low on him because people are going to be panicking. And I think Sean Payton, once we're walking away, not talking about RJ Harvey, he's going to put up like 140-yard game.
Of course he is.
And it's going to be on our bench.
But then when you put him back in the lineup, he's going to get 3 carries again. So
I know. I'm okay strapping myself to that. I just want RJ Harvey to have the season that I expected him to have. That's it.
J.K. Dobbins is not the face of health, right? Like, if he misses time, then it's all systems go for RJ Harvey.
I guess. Yeah. Even then, I'm a little skeptical because it's like, there's so many times an opportunity that RJ Harvey is obviously the better play here. Like, there's a whole bunch of times.
Will call like Melgo and bring him out of retirement or something.
We can't bring back Melgo. I mean, like, not the player, but the nickname. We can't let Adam Rank win on Melvin Gordon being Melgo. We can't. Because Melgo sounds like a third-rate convenience store. Like, that's what that is.
Melgo.
I'm gonna stop by the Melgo and pick up some beef jerky. Like, you need anything? Like, that's bad.
That's annoying.
You know what it is? The meme with like the anime meme with the guy putting a hand on the other guy's shoulder or whatever.
Yes, and the other guy's just looking.
That's the guy with the hand out on the shoulder is Marvin Mims, and the other guy is RJ Harvey. It's Marvin.
The biggest lesson here is never draft a Broncos rookie unless it's a quarterback. Apparently,
yeah, because Pat Bryant really has been nowhere to be seen.
And it's annoying.
RJ
he gets out there. His first NFL catch was amazing. He goes out there and runs around, breaks the guy off, gets open, and catches the ball. And it's like, okay, let's keep doing this. Like, no. It's going to be Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin. Like, it's annoying. So annoying.
I mean, you can always jump over onto the Troy Franklin bandwagon with me. Like, there's room. I'll save a seat.
That bandwagon.
I'll save you a seat.
Yeah,
you're welcome. You're welcome to come
He's
hang
a big
out.
pickup this week for sure.
Was a big pickup for sure this week.
Yeah.
Florio, Mark Andrews, man, like this is alarm bells. This is
yikes.
This is like, red lights, sirens, the whole nine with Mark Andrews right now, isn't it?
I'm petrified. He's almost droppable. I think. I don't think he's there yet. But like, I have him as a sit this week. Here's the crazy part. The Ravens have scored 40 points in both of their games this season. Lamar Jackson has 7 total touchdowns. That is the same number of yards as Mark Andrews has this season. Like, he has 7 receiving yards. And I know he's got like 2 rushing or whatever. Okay, maybe he has more if you count those. But like, so Zay Flowers looks like he's breaking out. And Zay Flowers is... both teams play a high rate against the Ravens because of Derrick Henry and Lamar's rushing abilities, and Zay is going to pick them apart there. Rashad Bateman looks like he's taken another step forward. DeAndre Hopkins has a little bit left in the tank. And then Isaiah Likely is still going to come back at some point. Like, I know there will be random weeks where Mark Andrews catches a touchdown or something, but last season, no one had more of their fantasy points come off of touchdowns. You add D-Hop now as a red zone option. You add all these other guys that they already have and we know we're going to go to. Like, if he if Mark Andrews has like 5 touchdowns this year, he's going to be awful for fantasy. He needs like 8, 9, 10 touchdowns to be a tight end 1, I think. And I think we're quickly going to get to the point where he might not be usable for fantasy.
And it's not like you can be like, hey man, he hasn't put up any yards, but they're targeting him a lot. They're looking in his direction a lot. He has 4 targets. Like that's it. 4 targets all year long. He's turned it into 2 catches for 7 yards. They're not looking his direction. And to your point, when Isiah likely comes back, I think he starts to get those opportunities. It just it looks bleak for Mark Andrews.
I'm already telling folks drop him.
Yeah, I think we're there. I think we're there right now. Like I thought
other tight ends.
I thought a bounce back was coming, but I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem that
like
way.
if you drop
Is there
him
plenty of
now-
other tight ends though?
Yeah, look, Juwan Johnson still under 50% of rostership. Jatavian Sanders, Harold Finn, and Jonnu Smith. These are other guys I'd rather strap myself to that I know that are going to be running routes, that are going to be earning those targets and be able to have.
I agree
at
with
least those
Fannin and
ceilings.
Johnston.
Because think about it, if you wait until week 5, 6 to be like, all right, Andrews is cooked, no tight ends are going to be on the waiver wire for you to even make.
Oh no, if like Johnson or Fannin are out there, I'm grabbing them. Jatavian Sanders feels like a trap.
Yeah, Sanders, I'm not quite buying, but Jake Ferguson is still out there.
2
he
more
had a
weeks.
nice game yesterday.
2 more weeks he
Should
gets picked up.
Hell, even Hunter Henry, I would take a chance on.
Yeah.
Over Mark
Zach
Andrews.
Grab Isiah Likely just in case.
Yeah,
He
he's
takes
out there
over.
a ton of leagues. Absolutely get a piece of that if you can. Speaking of which, it's a perfect segue into the waiver wire. Guys that you might be looking at depending on what your needs are heading into week 3. Floriana, you put together this list. Take us through it if you don't mind.
QB, 2 Mr. Joneses, not just 1 for you, LQ.
Let's go.
Daniel and Mac. Mac played good, man. He's the first 49er backup too to win since Brock Purdy became the starter. Jake Browning, I know that's more like super flex, but if you're in that league like that, he is in play. At running back, Bhayshul Tuten, Blake Corum, Laquan's boy, and Jeremy McNichols.
No. You don't get to claim Blake Corum because you were Mr. Jarquez Hunter all off season.
Oh,
like,
true.
RB3, like you can't just turn around and get Blake Corum now.
Hold up. His rookie year, it was Mr. Blake Corum. Of course, I like Jarquez Hunter as well. Both of them are my guys. They're friends of the show. Don't do me like that. Come on.
All right. Okay. Please continue.
Jeremy McNichols, who got all the pass work after. I think he's going to be the Austin Eckler for the Commanders. Wide receiver, it's a big week there, though. Wan'Dale Robinson and Troy Franklin, I think, are the top 2 ads of the week. You can put them in whichever order you want. Elic Ayomanor, we talked about already. Isaac Tesla doesn't do a whole lot, but what he does, it's a top 10 play every time.
Score.
We need a drop of that. Then Hunter Renfrow and Kayshon Boutte. And then at tight end, it is a big week if these guys are available in your leagues, like Jake Ferguson, Harold Fannin Jr., Juwan Johnson should all be picked up. And then I'd add Isiah Likely, who I just thought of while we were talking, and Jake Tongas. Look, I don't know if he's a thing, Marcus, but in deep leads, I'd be willing to roll the dice.
I started him. I lost. I don't get on. I started him. Got my 7 points.
Deep leagues, yeah. I don't know if it's going to be consistent enough because Tonjas got 5 targets, but it was Luke Farrell that scored the touchdown.
The blocking tight end. What are we doing? I mean, that's your squad.
I think they're just trying to fill in those snaps wherever they can, right? Because when Kittle is healthy, he can do both. He can catch passes. He can also be like a 6th offensive lineman and block when you need him to. They're going to try and fill that however they can. So it looks like Tonjas is the guy who's running the more routes of the 2 of them. But every now and then it seems like they're going to roll Farrell out and try to get him some targets too. So like it's like I said, deep leagues, just understand it's going to be inconsistent.
Look, this is off topic. I just pulled up each of your team's schedule to see if you guys could be 4-0 going against each other in October. Week 4 is the Rams against Daniel Jones. We are calling that the LQ Bowl.
That's the LQ Bowl. What are you gonna do if Daniel Jones like shreds the Rams defense? Like how are you gonna feel?
We can't stop mobile quarterbacks. Like I'm not gonna sit here and lie. He's gonna have a great game against my Rams. He is one of the mobile quarterbacks that we talk about, and we cannot stop them. So I'm gonna be all for the Joneses that day, man, for fantasy wise. But we're gonna win.
The Cardinals and Jags. They might be 4-0 going up against the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, my thing with the 49ers is if they were going to have bad injury luck, which is just the thing they do.
Oh, the Mac Jones revenge game.
Oh, do the Mac Jones revenge game.
Jags. Let's go.
But if they're gonna have bad injury luck, they should do it at the start of the season because the opening to the schedule is a little bit softer. So if they can survive this, when I like their chances once they get everybody back healthy again. I think I still think this is a 2-team race in the NFC West.
What if Mac Jones plays better than Trevor Lawrence?
Oh, I mean, that's definitely on the table.
Let me show you how to do this, son.
That's definitely on the. What if Brian Thomas Jr. is trying to defect to the other side by the third quarter? He's like, wait, take me back, Mac.
Listen, he's shying away from contact because that boy Trevor Lawrence throwing hospital balls. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, we can also almost do a whole show on the Jaguars at some point. I don't want to, but it's a thing that we could do if we decided. We could. We're not gonna do that anyway.
How many times would Trevor Lawrence be said in that?
I know, right? Like, if please do not do a drinking game to Laquan talking about the Jaguars.
I'm at the point where when I say his name, the mid almost comes out automatically.
He's gonna red pill you on this thing, right? Like you're going to just
like I'm gonna be on like insiders that be like Trevor Lawrence, and they're gonna be like, what?
Yeah. Yes.
I am flooding the streets.
It's a great nickname. It's very fitting.
Sort of like how I once convinced somebody to refer to a former Steelers wide receiver as San Antonio Holmes, but that's a whole different thing. So. All right. On that terrible dad joke, we're going to wrap this up. That'll do it for this edition of the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. We got 2 Monday night games tonight. Stay happy, safe, and healthy. Do good and live well. Enjoy the doubleheader, everybody. We will talk to you on Wednesday.